I'm very impressed by the stories of your childhood, the stories about your family, how you made many of your instruments. You definitely can write a book, I think. How would you remember the childhood in your homeland, Cameroon?
I had a very good childhood. I just grew up as any other kids, and I grew up in a rural area, so I didn't grow up in a city. I grew up in a very remote place where I had enough time to just play music because, I didn't have any other attraction. I didn't have any other attraction, so that probably helped me to focus a lot into music a lot and just be more creative myself, to make my own instrument, just be more creative. It's a human nature when you find yourself in a situation where, okay, I want to do this, but you don't have anything around you. Start creating your own way of making it happen. That's exactly what happened.
When you sing in a native language, the first real contact the song makes with the listener is through the feeling of the song, not specifically the words. So what about this concept for getting in contact with the listener? When you sing in a native language, the first real contact the song makes with the listener is through the feeling of the song, not specifically the words, but the feeling. So what about this concept for getting in contact with the listener?
Well, music already has its own language. Just to tell you, music already has its own language. You guys speak Bulgarian, we speaking English and all that, but music itself already has its own language, and music reach out to people in a very specific way, and sometimes in a very different way. You could listen to a music, you think of a sea, and I could listen to the same music and I think of a sky. So music has a different way of making operations into people's mind. And that's what counts a lot. The first time when I heard Stevie Wonder, I didn't speak English back then when I heard Stevie Wonder singing. But somehow I just fell in love with it. That's where you get the power of music. And music teaches us that the music goes beyond language. Music goes beyond words, It's just something that touches our spirit. And music is spiritual. That's what makes music. I think music is deeply spiritual.
Your solo career is focused more on the spiritual aspect of life and on your roots. In a few words, what message you send to your listeners with your music?
Many different kind of coded messages. I could give you a quick message here. I learned through the music to not fear the difference, to even embrace the difference. People that taught me the most in music are people from a different place where I came from. Other people that are different than me. Music is so perfect. I think in my lifetime, I haven't seen any science that is perfect in music. Even numbers are not perfect. But music is so perfect, it's so rational that it teaches you a lot. I always said if the life of a human being had the reflection of music, we'd be living in a perfect life. Because music is perfect. You see? And when I talk about the differences, I'll give you an example. I always give examples better. When I grew up as a kid, when it comes time to eat, you wash your hand and you eat with your hand, right? And you go to Europe, a European guy will tell you, oh, I'm going to teach you how to eat with a fork and a spoon and a knife. And if you went to Japan, oh, the Japanese guy will tell you, wait a second, I'm going to tell you how to eat with the chopsticks. So that's what music is. Music has an essence of a really pure, perfect life. And that's why I always, when I went to India, play with the Indian musician, not because I want to learn, I can't, it's just that when I go and play with those guys, or when I go into Brazil, like right now I'm doing a flamenco project with gypsy musicians from southern Spain. It's a whole process where I get to elevate myself and get to learn things that I don't know, and get to share things too with them. That's music.
You talked a lot about tradition And tradition is actually the wisdom of the community that has this tradition. So what about the power that communities have that we can draw upon in our lives? So this eternal kind of wisdom that we all take part in building. How do you feel its power?
But unfortunately, it's really twisted today. You know, it's really twisted because the music itself is really twisted. Look at the music that they're playing for general masses every day. Let's be real and truth with ourselves. Like I say, music is sincere. Music is really truth. The moment you start lying with the music, it ain't music anymore. And these days, it's just hard to build the kind of things you're talking about into a general platform today, based on what the media are putting out there as a music. You know, I'll give you an example, because I always give example. That even you and the lady, you guys go to all these concerts. But if I tell you today that 9 out of 10 biggest acts in the world are not even playing live, oh, you would jump and say, oh, it's impossible. And it's actually true. And therefore, it's already really difficult to kind of pinpoint people that are really doing this thing for real, because they're not on the biggest platform all the time. Most of the artists on the biggest platform are not even playing live anymore. I'm not against playback and all the thing. I'm not against it, but at least tell the audience that it's a playback show. You know, we always wait when an incident happens, when a malfunction, microphone malfunction, and then we go, oh, so Beyonce was on playback. Oh, Madonna was on playback. Oh, of course they're all in playback, dummies. It's not today. It was yesterday too. It's just everything worked good yesterday. You see? So it's really hard there's still a lot of young artists and true artists out there that I consider myself being into that group of the people that are trying to keep this thing actually the way we learn it too. But it's becoming really hard, to tell you the truth. It's becoming really, really, really hard for people like us, because, it's taken by the bigger consumption of media, including record companies, including my own record company. I'm not going to lie to you. Universal is involved with it, Sony, everybody. And I tell things the way they are, because, I'm not afraid to, I don't care about record company or whatever. I didn't have a record company before. I play music. If I don't have a record company tomorrow, I'll be playing music. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, it's becoming really hard to transcend that clean spirit of music to the community, because the community itself is get full, but everything that is happening. Just put your TV on anytime and tell me how much music you saw live, really, today, anywhere in the world, in Bulgaria, in New York, in America, anywhere. So we have to be sincere with our surroundings. Otherwise, we'll be living in a dreamland. And I don't live in a dreamland. I live in my world, in a reality world.
Richard, the first time when I heard your name was when I was listening the album of Pat Metheny group, Speaking of Now. It was, I think, 12 years ago. Your presence there was very organic and so poetic. How did you meet Pat Metheny?
How did I meet? Here in New York. I mean, New York is... I came here in 1995, so... I met all these people when I came here, because my name popped out the moment I came here. I used to play with Mike Brecker, play with Joe Zawinul. I was Harry Belafonte, musical director. I was with the Breckers Brothers. So, through that circle, I started to meet a lot of people. So I met Pat a long time ago, before even I joined a band. Pat actually called me back then in 2002 if I could find him somebody who could play guitar, singing, playing percussion, if I knew somebody who could do everything I do like me, because he knew I couldn't do it, the Pat Metheny group, and I knew I couldn't do it. So I was, you know, he put the word out there. I was looking for somebody, a multi-instrumentist, somebody who could do all those things. And back then, me and Columbia Sonny here in New York, we were not on the same page because Columbia was asking me I have to stop singing in my language. They wanted me to sing in English. They're like, man, you know, for the next album, you have to sing in English because, you know, this language doesn't sell and nobody understands what you're talking about. And I told Columbia, listen, this is the language that I'm singing and I will continue singing my language. If you don't like it, then let's part ways. And we part ways with Columbia. Then I called Pat. I said, hey, Pat, you know what? I'm no longer under contract. I could actually do your tour and do the record. And that's how I ended up doing the Pat Metheny group for a little while until I resigned a year after I resigned with Universal, where I did all these past 4 albums. So that's the episode. So where I met Pat, man, we already knew each other for some years. I could not tell you exactly where I met him because, you know, the scene is so, you know, every night you see people, every night you don't remember exactly where you met the person the first time.
You enjoy working with guitar players, right?
Yeah, I mean, I work with a lot of different guitar players, you know, George Benson, you know, Mike Stern, you know, Lil Whitney, because I'm a guitar player too. You know, it's an instrument that I love and that, you know, Lueke, the many Sylvain Luc, a lot of great guitar players that I love. I'm working with another great guitar player, flamenco gypsy guitar player called Antonio Rey from Spain right now. I'm going to see him next week. And, you know, I just love that instrument. And I've been lucky to share the stage most of the time with the best people that play that instrument.
I love your collaboration with Mike Stern very much. You have a song called If Only. It's one of my favorite compositions. Do you remember that song?
It's If Only. Yeah. That's the one?
Yes,
one,
absolutely.
That's the one? Yeah. Yeah, I remember it. It's a good song.
I like this song very much. It's really very poetic. It's really very nice. Brings me joy.
Thank you. But this time I'm coming to Bulgaria with another. It's more like a Latin. It's a salsa band. So I don't think we will play that repertoire. Like If Only. I think we will play more like Afro-Latin songs, more repertoire.
Let me ask you about your travels around the world. You travel a lot, but there are several stops that are very important for your career. Several stops after Cameroon. First of all, Germany, then Paris, then France, and after that, New York. What did these places bring to your music?
Oh, like I said in the beginning, you know, the moment you go to a different place, you get to learn new things. Those only come and enhance my music. They come and enhance my background. I'm still in my roots. I live in my roots because, you know, I've been playing music since the age of 3 years old. So I've been playing music the rest of my life, or my entire life. So when I travel a lot, is to go get some other essence that come to make my roots even more beautiful.
And soon you're coming for your second concert in Bulgaria, but this time as a solo artist, as the headliner of the A2 Jazz World Festival. Could you please tell us about the program we're going to hear from you here in Sofia?
The program you guys will hear in Bulgaria are a program that is influenced by Afro-Cuban music. So, you know, that's the real Afro-Cuban band. When I say Afro-Cuban sometimes, you know, I'm the Afro with Cuban musicians. So, yeah, there's more influence by, you know, Africa and Cuba. That's what you guys will hear. Of course, with the essence of myself and jazz essence and, you know. But it's a very joyful set. It's a very upbeat set. And let's see what happens. I'm sure, you know, people in Bulgaria will love it.
And finally, to sum up, what we had as topics in the interview. How would you describe our place in the harmony of nature, the place of people, of human beings, and your place in the world? How do you feel about your mission and what you're doing here?
I don't know. I'm not a believer. I don't believe in anything, to tell you the truth. But I believe in something that you don't believe. I know there is something out there. This is not a coincidence. We're not here just by a coincidence. You see what I mean? So I believe in something that I don't know, and I don't want to know. That's why I know that I don't know. And the more I learn, or the more I know, less I know. And music has all those essence. I play music every day. It's unbelievable. I spend so much time playing music. I play music because I learned one thing. I grew up with a grandfather. My grandfather was so good technically, amazing percussion player and singing. And I watched this old man all the time as a kid, without even him talking to me, because he was always drunk. But one thing I saw him doing all the time, he was playing all the time. He played music his entire life. So I learned one thing from him: excellence comes from repetition. Even when you're gifted, if you don't do the homework, it's not going to happen. And I saw through my whole career, everyone you see that is really good. I have some friends that are very good soccer players. They took me to a training one day in Barcelona. And I saw Ronaldinho training for like a Brazilian soccer player. And I saw him training for like 3 hours. Like a machine. And again, my grandfather's voice came to me and talked to me. You see why this guy is good? Because he repeats himself all the time. So that's what I'm doing. My mission here is just, to play music. And so that's what I'm doing. I don't go to movies. I don't go out. I don't do anything else. I don't drink. I don't smoke. People think sometimes it's boring. But what is boring? I'm having fun. You know what I mean? I have a lot of fun just strolling in my studio, just spend a day there, and, go run time to time, exercise a little bit, and start all over again. So my mission here, I'm actually in the middle of my mission, and my mission is my dream. And I'm living in my dream. When people always say, what is your dream? But I am in my dream. I'm already in my dream. I don't need any other dream. So that's my mission.